Today I'm going to be doing inquiry, which is a technique taught by Byron Katie where you identify beliefs that are causing you stress. These are beliefs or thoughts, and then you do a series of questions where you question them and see how true they are. I've identified a belief that I've written down. I have a piece of paper here. I wrote down my belief, and then I'm going to go through the 4 questions about this belief. So the belief that I wrote down is, it's also, when you write down a belief, you don't just want to put the belief, just have an abstract belief. You actually want to try and anchor it in a specific situation where this belief appeared and caused you some stress. So the belief that I'm worried about is, right now I'm between jobs and I'm looking for a new job. And I have this common belief where I haven't really started actively looking, kind of taking a little break, but I have this thing as I lay in bed, I have this anxiety about I'm not going to be able to find a good job. And so it kind of pops up a lot, and it's an interesting belief that I wanted to do some inquiry on. So the belief is I'm not going to be able to find a good job. The first question that you ask yourself is it true? And the answer to this is just meant to be yes or no, and you want to sit in the belief and see what appears. So when I ask myself, is it true I am not going to be able to find a job? No. And what appears for me when I have this belief, what makes it no, what kind of appears for me is like, I have a lot of reasons why. I have a lot of experience in different areas. I've worked at well-known companies. I have a lot of years of experience, and even if I want to change, into a different area, I think I have the intelligence and ability to learn new things. So I think there's lots of reasons why this is an exaggeration, and like I'm never gonna. The ego kind of paints this future scenario where you're never going to be able to find another job. You're going to be not working forever. That's just obviously an exaggeration. And so if your answer to the first question, is it true, is no, you skip to the third question. The third question is how do you react? What happens when you believe this thought? I'm not going to be able to find a job. I can see myself in bed just being really anxious, worrying, like thinking of all these things I need to do, doubting myself, feeling like, it's hopeless. I'm not going to be able to do anything, with the rest of my life. So obviously a lot of these like catastrophic scenarios pop up. Feel a lot of anxiety, kind of tightness. My mind starts racing about thinking of things I need to do. And I guess I also see like, I doubt myself, like, I'm not good enough. I can't do this. So obviously this belief that I'm not going to be able to find a good job causes me a lot of stress and worry. The fourth question is, who would you be without this thought? So I'm not going to be able to find a job, a good job. And I think I would just be at peace. Like I would be able to appreciate what I'm good at and believe in myself and motivate myself. When I'm ready to start searching again, I will be able to, really honestly look at jobs and see if they're good jobs for me. Instead of just being desperate and like, I got to take the first job that comes along. I think I can actually, like, without this belief, I can actually be discerning and find a better job for me, which is really important because it's going to be a good job. I am going to spend a lot of time looking and deciding and being really aware of what's right for me. So without that belief, I would definitely be a much more at peace. I would be able to go to sleep fine. I wouldn't be kind of constantly anxious about these things. So there's a lot of value there in not in this belief. Kind of like, who would I be without it? It feels like a much more peaceful place. The final part of doing inquiry is what's called the turnaround, where you look for statements that are the maybe the opposite of this belief, and you see if they could be as true or even more true than the original belief. So the opposite belief, the first turnaround is I am going to find a job that's a good job for me. How does this belief feel? This one feels like I kind of talked about before. Is it true? I feel like there's a lot of truth to this. Like I have a lot of experience. I've worked at well-known companies. I have a lot of people who believe in me and would be good, positive, really good, positive references for what I want to do. And also in like the job market we're in, a lot of companies are desperate for people. So I think that the fact that I think I'm actually in a good situation to find a job. And also, I guess I kind of, another thing that comes up in the turnaround here is like thinking like, what is a job? Like, I'm not going to be able to find a job. Another turnaround is like, you know, I guess it isn't really a turnaround, but it's like another aspect of this is like, you know, whatever I'm doing in any moment is my job. Like my job is here doing the work, doing this inquiry. That is the good job for me, and that will benefit me. So even though I'm not like officially working at a company right now, I actually already have a good job. So maybe that's the turnaround, is I already have a good job, which is working on, you know, like what I'm doing right now at this time, this amazing time I have to myself is, this feels more like a real true job, is like working on myself, questioning my unquestioned beliefs, kind of better understanding reality and what's true. And when I question these beliefs, I realize a lot of them are not true, and I keep digging deeper and questioning different parts of what these thoughts that appear. So it's really interesting thing. Like, hey, just like the idea is your job is not just what you do 9 to 5. It's like your job is life. This, as Byron Katie calls it, the school of life. Like that is my job, and everything in the school of life is a teacher for you if you can look at it that way. It's meant to help you figure out what's true, every situation that you're put against. So it's also really powerful to think of it that way. So that was doing inquiry about a problematic belief I've had about not being able to find a job, and I feel much better, and I've definitely seen other aspects of that belief. So thank you.